Hi guys, so today we are going straight into it. Hi, my name is Mary and I share messages, or rather my spiritual journey and what I've learned up until this point, and hoping that it could be helpful to somebody out there who is also going through the same thing. So let's get into it. So I got this message, or maybe a realization, yesterday, and this is what I wrote down. So I'm gonna break it down to you, and then we see how it goes. So every time you want to do something, it starts with a decision. A business, a career, transferring countries, moving places, partnerships, friendships, everything. It starts with a decision. Everything. That's how it starts. You can never do a business if you do not decide to do a business. So everything starts with a decision. So the moment you make that decision, let's say it's even a business decision, you want to start that business, you feel called to do that business, you feel like it's something that makes you, or you're so happy, like you're excited to even engage in that particular business. Say design, for example, you feel excited about design, you just want to get into that kind of business. So the moment you make that decision that you want to do it, it's the beginning of something great, something bigger, a fast growing business, whatever it may look like when you are making that decision, right? So why it's spiritual, that this decision, or that business decision or whatever decision it is, why it's spiritual, it's because after you make that decision, I know this is gonna sound a bit crazy, but after you make that decision, the enemy is also there trying to stop you, okay? And well, that's okay. We have God on our side, so we're good, okay? We're good. We have God on our side. But when you make that decision, the enemy is also there trying to stop you, but we have to move regardless. So when you make that decision, number 2 is to execute, okay? So I've made my decision. I'm still going with the example of a designer. I want to be a designer. And number 2 is to execute what is needed. What am I supposed to be looking at? How am I supposed to be engaging with content and things to do with design, okay? That's step number 2, execution. So you start taking steps by steps. So say design, what do I need? I need to learn how to put certain elements together. So for example, maybe I'm designing houses. For instance, I'm designing the interior of the houses, and I have to know how to balance the colors. I have to, you understand how it goes. So when you start doing it step by step, okay, every time you're meant to do something and then you don't do it, now that here, this is where it's at, okay? I just hope this message I'm going to be able to articulate properly. So you are in the execution process, okay? So every time you are meant to execute, because making the decision, that's the general aspect of this whole thing, but it's also a continuation process. You don't just make the decision and stop. You keep on keeping on. You have to continue making more decisions to show up. That's a decision. When things get tough and you still continue going, that's a decision. So every time you're meant to do something and you don't do it, you be like, today I don't feel motivated enough, so I'm gonna do it tomorrow. The devil loves the word tomorrow. So when you don't do it when you're supposed to, that's when the barriers start happening. Because if today you are meant to go, make that decision, or maybe do what you're meant to do. Go search about what are the good colors to paint in the interiors of this house, what are the tiles that match these colors, what is the flooring pattern that I need to be using. You know, once you are dedicated towards that and then you don't show up as you should, then you are harming or hurting yourself. Why? Because you see those cracks that you leave open, that's how the devil comes in and he delays your progress. So say you were meant to maybe come up with a decision fast, maybe 3 months. In 3 months time you need to execute and everything will be up and going, and now it's gonna take you a year because of these indecisions that you've been having in the middle. I hope you guys are getting what I mean. So every time you don't show up as you should, you are giving the enemy a chance to stop you or delay your progress. You get what I mean? So it's usually a mental thing. You have to keep going, you have to keep showing up, especially if you're a beginner, because until you understand what it takes to become or to keep going, you have to be on it every day. And we don't rely on motivation. Motivation only happens like for the first 3 days of this idea that you have, and then the next day after that it's discipline that keeps you going. It's not motivation. So you have to keep it going. Even for instance, let me use a better example which is applicable to everyone. When you say you're going to focus on God, when you say you're going to journey and get closer to God, if you read your Bible today and you don't tomorrow, that's already inconsistency. You know, you are reading your Bible today and then tomorrow you're like, I read yesterday. That can serve for today. And then that's how you start being inconsistent. Before you know it, you're not even praying consistently. And when inconsistency comes in, you're opposite from what God would want you to do. So exactly, if you're opposite from God, then you are facing the enemy. How else are you going to describe that? So if you are consistent in what you're doing, you will find purpose or alignment in that thing that you're focusing on, whether it's your faith journey, whether it's your career or business, whichever thing it might be. You have to stay consistent. Those steps, they don't just happen today and then you skip tomorrow and then you need consistency, especially if you're a beginner. I like to do it this way. Have a 90 days challenge of not stopping, of doing it completely without stopping. If it's the gym, go to the gym for 6 months straight. Give it like 4 days a week. Find your own consistency, but don't stop showing up. Whichever way, keep showing up, because that is what you need to do, guys. And number 3, it's never about all these things actually. It's about who you become. You see, when you have a goal, this is what I want to achieve. I want this car. It's not about a car. It's about who you become to receive that car. Everyone can dream of a car, but it's not everyone who's gonna get it. You know why? Because the person you become, the journey there, is what truly matters. And that's what I was talking about. If you're inconsistent, then you'll never get to see what it was gonna be, because you are not consistent enough, you're not disciplined enough, you're not resilient, you don't even understand what these characters that make up the person ready to receive these blessings are. You have to keep showing up. The discipline is learned through showing up consistently. The resilience is learned through when you felt like giving up, but you kept going regardless. The hard work, they are all characters that make you the receiver of that thing. I can dream today, anyone can dream, but it's not everyone who achieves. So if you want to achieve it, you really need God in it. There is no other way, because every day you won't feel the motivation, every day you will not feel like you want to keep going, but God will enable you to keep going. And the verse that I like to pair that with is Proverbs 3:5-6. Proverbs 3:5-6. It says, trust in God with all your heart and don't lean on your own insight. So when you feel like, today I don't feel like doing it, honey, just show up. You'd rather show up and do it like you don't feel like doing it, but do not show up. Don't fail to show up. And as you are walking in this journey, you're gonna be tempted. Jesus was tempted in the wilderness. Okay? You will be tempted because this is something that you want. It's a goal, right? You want to achieve it, right? So to see if you're strong, then there has to be temptation. There has to be a challenge. So you're always gonna be tempted, but God will always give you a way. God will always give you a way, because you know how it goes. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verses 13, it says, no temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful and he will not let you be tempted beyond your own strength, but with the temptation will also provide the way of escape that you may be able to endure it. So you will be tempted, that's a guarantee. You want to achieve that goal, okay, but you will be tempted along the way, because I want to see how strong you are. I want to see how resilient you are. How can I know that you're resilient? A challenge will be presented to you, and if you fall, it's okay. God will always give you a way out, because he says no temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. Everything you have ever faced before is temptation. It's common and it's not new. So it's very, very normal. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond your strength, but with the temptation will also provide the way of escape. So when you get over onto the other side, that means you won. You get what I mean? And you just have to keep trusting God with everything that you do. You have to keep him before. You have to keep him always before you in everything that you do, so that he is able to guide you in the best way possible. So that is my message today. I started talking about, wow, I've really talked about a lot. I started talking about how, spiritual, how success is spiritual. It's in that way. You have to, like, these battles, who you become towards that thing that you want to achieve, that is the success right there. Anyone can own a car, anyone can own a house, anyone can have those things, but it's not those goals that make us. It is us. It's us becoming the people who are. I kinda ran out of storage, but yeah, that was my message. So just keep showing up. It matters who you become on your way there. That's all that matters, who you become. And who you become is the one God guides, the one who is in alignment to receive those things that you want to receive in your life, whatever that may look like. Could be happiness, could be a family, it could be anything. So just keep showing up. Have a blessed day.